happy to see you all here today with us. My name is Volodymyr Polachnyuk, and I'll be your MC for today. I'm the former UCC Parliamentary Intern from 2018. Currently, I'm an MP CBEX assistant. Today, we gathered for this virtual event to congratulate our 2020-2021 interns, Alex and Matthew, with their completed internship. We're going to hear some remarks from their bosses, MP Daniel Blakey and MP David Sweet, and of course, a couple of words from Alex and Matthew themselves. Today, we will also learn the name of our new UCC parliamentary intern, who will be introduced by Pan Roman Vashuk and Pani Oksana Smerechuk. So stay tuned. For those who are following Euro 2020 and supports Ukrainian soccer team, thank you for your sacrifice right now. We will be trying to make sure to update you if there are any good news from Glasgow. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, Ukraine's national soccer team made it to the final stage, partially thanks to Sweden, and now we're playing against Sweden to get into quarterfinals. Now, when we all know the plan, I would like to welcome Alexandra Hichi, UCC National President. Pani Lesa, будь ласка, вам слово.
Дякую, Volodymyr. Thank you, everyone, for joining us here today. On behalf of the Ukrainian Canadian Congress, I'm very pleased that we've been able to partner with the UCC Charitable and Educational Trust on this parliamentary internship program. This program provides recent graduates in our community with an opportunity to learn about Canada's legislative and governmental processes and to gain experience on policy, research, communications, legislative affairs, and of course, constituency work. The program was renewed by the Charitable and Educational Trust in 2017 with the major support of donors, including the Shevchenko Foundation's Ukrainian Canadian Veterans Fund, the Ukrainian National Federation, the Ukrainian Credit Union, and of course, many individual donors. More information about our donors and how you can support the program is available on our website. Since 2017, the program has placed 7 interns in MPs' offices. The feedback from both members of parliament and our interns is that the program provides truly valuable experience and assists our youth in starting their careers. During the COVID pandemic, our interns have continued to work while following all public health guidelines. In February of 2020, just before the lockdown, we were pleased to honor His Excellency Roman Vashuk, former ambassador of Canada to Ukraine, and his spouse Oksana Smerechuk at a tribute dinner. Proceeds from that dinner were directed to the newly created Roman Vashuk and Oksana Smerechuk Fund within the UCC Charitable and Educational Trust. This fund supports both the UCC Parliamentary Internship Program as well as our Community Development Fund, which supports important community programming initiatives. So thank you, Romana and Oksana. We look forward to hearing from both of you later today. I would also like to thank Alex Ilchenko and the Internship Selection Committee for their important work in reviewing the many applications for the upcoming year. Today, we are here to congratulate our latest 2 alumni, Dr. Alex Kostenko and Matthew Selinger, on completing the internship program. And of course, we are very happy to have with us today the members of Parliament for whom they worked, David Sweet and Daniel Blakey, and we look forward to hearing from them. I am sure that we aren't saying goodbye to Alex or Matthew, but rather we will see you soon. À la prochaine, до наступної зустрічі. Thank you, дякую, merci.
Дякую, Pani Lesa. Now I'm pleased to invite Mr. Blakey, Member of Parliament for Elmwood Troscona, to be unmuted and to share some remarks with us about Matthew's internship in his office.
Sure. Well, thank you very much for the opportunity. I just want to start by saying I think Matthew did an incredible tribute to the program. We were very, very pleased at the work that he did in the office, and we're going to miss his regular presence in the office. Although, as we discussed not that long ago in a meeting of all of us together with myself and all of the staff in the office. We do expect to see Matthew somewhat regularly as he's moving to Ottawa to pursue his graduate studies. And we're looking forward to keeping in touch and updated on his latest successes. This really just has been a great program, and I think it's an important way to kind of build on what has been a long-standing and significant contribution of Ukrainians of various eras to Canada. And I think this just is a sign of what a strong community that continues to be, and the kind of influence it has, and the benefits that it can offer by being organized and finding excellent representatives of the Ukrainian community with an interest in politics to participate and to get to know the Canadian parliamentary system better, and to be able to work within it to improve the lot of Canada, to be sure, but also internationally as well. And so it really has been a wonderful experience and a privilege to get to participate in the program. As I say, we really feel that as an office, we benefited greatly from our participation. So we don't simply see it as a service we were doing to others, but that we were very well served through our participation as well. So thank you very much for the program. Thanks again, especially to Matthew, for all of the hard work over the last number of months. And we wish him well in his future endeavors. And as I say, look forward to getting regular updates on how that's going, and hopefully the odd update in person as things continue on a better trajectory here in Canada in respect to the pandemic. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Blakey. Thank you for your kind words. I can already see that Mr. Sweet, a member of Parliament for Flamborough-Glenbrook, is ready to share some feedback on Alex's work in his office. Mr. Sweet, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. I want to commend the Ukrainian Canadian Congress. You're one of the few communities that understand the need to get your youth involved politically, to be able to understand the levers of government from federal, provincial, and municipal, and to advocate for concerns not only in the Ukrainian community, which I know is near and dear to your heart, and also what happens in Ukraine, but also to make sure that there's good public policy decisions made, and that that they understand how to get that entry into policymakers' offices to create positive change. So it was great to have Alex join our team in November 2020. It was kind of weird. If you heard my speech the other day in Parliament, you'll know that it was one of our missions in our office to always launch young people into new careers and new opportunities. And the reason why I say that is because I had to actually say that was one of our missions, because the list of my staff and interns was so long, people would have thought I was a brutal employer, that I had gone through so many staff when I named them all that had made a contribution to my office. And of course, Alex was one of those names that I named. It was weird because Alex joined the team during all of the COVID government restrictions. And so I didn't meet him for many months, and finally met him. We were doing some videos, which we do for our site to communicate with our constituents, and finally met him live and in person in a little place called Bimbrook, Ontario. And I know most of you probably won't know where that is, but it's one of the fastest growing areas of Flamborough-Glenbrook. And Alex joined our team and made a very significant positive difference. I also have to say this, I don't have many interns join that are doctors. So he also was probably the most, how would I say, overqualified intern that we've ever had. But that said, he was profoundly humble and took the job seriously and learned. I never ever felt that he thought that he was in any way superior to any other part of the team. In fact, quite the contrary. He made such a huge difference in our team. One of the files that he took on that I want to give him lots of credit for is the big challenge in Flamborough-Glanbrook is we have a mixture of rural and suburban, and the rural areas are very poorly, or were very poorly serviced by internet connectivity. And of course, once we got into the government restrictions, internet connectivity became exponentially more important. And he, along with another staff member, took on the file of dealing with a new player on the block, which was a satellite company that was actually evolved from Elon Musk, and made sure that our constituents had access to that, and of course solved a lot of problems with connectivity for a lot of farmers, on a lot of our rural commercial people, and of course rural constituents in their residences. So he worked very diligently on that. He worked very diligently in other constituent files. He, of course, helped me to communicate to the minister the concerns about the persecution of the Crimean Tatars, and of course, which continues to be ongoing. And I can't say any more, or it'll probably sound like I'm going overboard. But I just want to say that we're going to miss him. His talents are so multifaceted. He's a social media guru. He was able to help us in so many different ways. And you know what? Personally, on a couple of conversations, gave me different perspective of some of the historical events that happened in Russia and in Ukraine, and enlightened me personally, coming from a singularly North American view, and hearing someone who had experience and understood through family connections the history in a much different fashion than we are often told here in North America. So Alex, you know, I can't say enough about for your contribution. I know you're going to move on to try and get some other opportunities in government or some other area, and I wish you the best, but you know, my best wishes will be a very small part of your success, because really you're so qualified and such a diligent worker. Your work ethic is amazing. So on behalf of our office and on behalf of the constituents of Flamborough-Glanbrook, I want to say thank you very much for your contribution. You've made Canada a better place.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Sweet. That's a great feedback. Well done, Alex. Now, when we've heard from the bosses, let's find out what our interns, or should I say new alumni, have to say. Let's discover their perspective on the time in these offices. Let's start with Alex Kostenko. Alex, please go ahead.
Certainly, thank you. The COVID pandemic has put tremendous stress and tremendous pressure on the Canadian political and governmental systems, and really forced it to refocus on what really matters, serving as the bridge between the Canadian public and the ultimate decision makers in the country. And being on the inside, seeing this refocusing, I conclude that the Canadian system is strong and is likely to emerge even stronger from the current pandemic. Through my tenure, we received countless communications from constituents asking for help with CRA problems, CERB issues, immigration, or just voicing concerns about legislation that was being discussed in the House. And throughout all of this, the main principles that guided us were making sure people were heard and making sure people were helped. And I can't think of any better pillars on which to create a political and governmental system. NP Sweet talked about some of the things that I did in my role, and yeah, especially the internet file. It is very rewarding to know that by bringing together funding opportunities from the federal and provincial governments, community stakeholders, and private companies, you're able to address real problems that people have, allowing people to work from home, to visit therapy services for their mental health issues, to have their kids, not be held back in school. And I'm confident that the things we were able to do will have positive effects for years to come. And this really just brings it back to when I made the decision to sort of leave academia. a lot of people called me crazy. They said, oh, like you love science too much, you'll come crawling back in a year. And having been given this tremendous opportunity by the UCC, I can say for certain that I have caught the bug, no pun intended. I cannot imagine doing anything else because the kind of stuff that that we do is so fulfilling, and seeing the ability for a properly functioning system to help people's lives that's what I want to contribute to for the rest of my life. I would like to thank my family and my fiancée Mariela for bearing with me during this process, especially when I went to Ottawa when it was allowed to do so. I'd like to thank everyone at Team Sweet for giving me crash courses in everything as much as it was possible. I think you really put me on a good path forward. And of course, the UCC and the very generous donors that made my stay with the program possible. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
That's great, Alex. I'm happy to hear that you found this program as useful as I did a couple of years ago. Now it's time to hear some thoughts of Matthew Salinger. Matthew, I think you should be unmuted. The mic is yours.
Yes, thank you very much. Greetings to everyone. Privetania z Saskatchewan. I don't know where really to begin, other than really saying thank you genuinely to for this opportunity to speak and to recognize how much of a privilege and honor it's been to be selected for, even if it's just a short time, 5 months, to work with an MP and to really help mobilize my skills that I've attained and gathered throughout my 6 years as a political science student at the University of Saskatchewan and my various roles within politics here in Saskatchewan. I think this has really helped in a lot of ways to grasp the practicalities of politics as opposed to an academic discipline. And certainly a lot of that I really have to, thank to Daniel Blakey. This is the amount of critic profiles he has and the amount of work that I've seen on his, schedule. I mean, it's insane, a lot of the type of work that MPs have to deal with. And I was glad to, have no shortage of things to do. He's certainly a workhorse of a politician and certainly dedicated to and takes very seriously his role as a public representative. I also see as well, Ariel and Adam from the office, and I'm not sure if Serena and Paul are there, but, our team, you have a very tremendous team to work with. And, I think it's, combined as a team, it's really that hospitality and friendship and dedication you've showed to me to, really make me mold as part of your team and to, help learn and understand the practicalities of politics and what happens on a day-to-day basis. Seriously, thank you so very much for everything, whether it was, a lot of, Adam will know a lot about this with, email correspondence and whatnot and outreach to constituents, legislative work and whatnot, writing letters, particularly on visa liberalization. I know we are kind of doing with respect to Canada-Ukraine bilateral trade and our relations. So I think those were, there's a lot of work for me to really understand really what, federal politics is all about, because that's certainly what, I hope to get into. Federal politics, particularly in foreign affairs, is a great interest of mine. And I think especially with your critic profiles, international trade, it's really complemented my interest in that regard. So thank you so very much for your generosity and hospitality within your office. I cannot thank you enough for, for all of that, and as well too, to recognize your very kind words at the beginning. Thank you so very much. As well to the UCC, I think, thank you very much for this opportunity, and to the donors for allowing me to serve as an intern. I don't think that because this was, remote, that this was wasted opportunity. There was certainly a copious amount of opportunities for me to be had. And I don't think for one second that I was ever disadvantaged because of that, because, it's just all about, adapting and taking what's there. And, there was certainly a lot to take there. So whoever is taking over as the new intern for the year, I think there's a lot to be had, even whether it's remote or if it's there. So Shchiro Diakuyu. Shchiro Diakuyu. Thank you so very much to everyone, to the UCC, Daniel Blakey and his team. Thank you very much. Shchiro Diakuyu.
Matthew, thanks for sharing all of the insights. That's very interesting to hear, and I believe the next interns would benefit from this feedback of yours, and happy to hear that you enjoyed your time virtually on the Hill. Let me introduce you, Alex Ilchenko, UCC First Vice President. Pane Alex, передаю вам слово.
Thank you very much. I'm going to thank the MPs Daniel Blakey and David Sleet for participating in today's program, and particularly in helping to develop our community's human capital in the public policy realm. It's very difficult to do this, and giving them, our students, the opportunity has given us, the community, a great deal of benefit, hopefully more benefit in the future. I want to congratulate Matthew and Alex as they complete our program and embark on the next steps of their professional lives. We're going to try to keep an alumni committee going and having you interact with existing alumni so that you have a network of people. As a token of appreciation, we'll be sending our alumni 2 special gifts, Digital Politics in Canada and a Portrait of Canada's Parliament, which are all both actual hard copy books, because you can get stuff online anywhere. Ihor has the books, and he's going to be sending it through the mail to you. I've been pleased to be the chair of our selection committee for the past number of years and see our program grow and strengthen and get the results that we have achieved in the last number of years. And I know it's going to be successful in the future. Every year we get excellent applicants who want to learn and grow into talented professionals, and we want to continue giving them that opportunity. We'll hear next from Roman Vashchuk and Oksana Smerachuk about who our next intern will be. Roman and Oksana very generously chose to support the Parliamentary Internship Program through the creation of a fund in their name at the UCC Trust. I believe Oksana and Roman, the floor is yours.
Yes, as Pan Alex mentioned, we have another big moment of today's event. Pan Roman, Pani Oksana, I've heard that you have an announcement to make today. Будь ласка, поділіться з нами гарними новинами.
So the name is Elizabeth Franceschini. Over to you, Oksana.
Elizabeth is exceptionally talented and passionate about politics and government. So we are proud to select her as our parliamentary intern for the coming year. Thank you to our many generous donors and supporters for making this program possible.
And we've heard from MPs Blakey and Sweet that they feel that the selection committee made pretty good choices, in fact, excellent choices this past year. And I think we can be equally confident about this year's choice because Elizabeth Franceschini brings a unique perspective to the program. She was born in Ternopil, Ukraine, grew up in Montreal, Quebec, speaks 4 languages, and I think is the first Quebecoise we've had as an intern in the program. This past year, Elizabeth graduated from McGill with a Bachelor of Arts in Political Science and Russian Studies. As someone who had a Russian minor myself in my undergraduate degree, it's a good country to know about. Better you know about it than it knows about you. She was active in the McGill Ukrainian Students Association as communications director. She contributed to the McGill International Review about Ukraine and Russia's war against Ukraine, the occupation of Crimea, parts of Donetsk, Luhansk Oblast. She was also a presenter at the Quebec Undergraduate Security Conference in 2021 and also worked as a volunteer with the Montreal Ukrainian Festival and with the McGill-based NGO Junior Peacemakers. So this is a person that I think Canada will be hearing more from in the future, but in the meantime, a parliamentarian, and the community will have the benefit of her internship in the coming year.
Hi, thank you everyone, and thank you so much to Roman and Oksana for the introductions. It's truly an honor to have been selected as this year's UCC Parliamentary Intern. I thank everyone for welcoming me, and thank Alex and Matthew for their accounts of their experiences in this past year, having served in the program. I'm very much looking forward to learning more about Parliament and all of its inner workings. As Roman had just mentioned, I did just graduate from university with a Bachelor of Arts, so I'm very much looking forward to kind of diving into this new field of politics, having studied politics myself, and I think this will be an excellent opportunity. And I am truly thankful to everyone who looked at my application and who saw potential in me, and I'm very much looking forward to what is to come. So thank you all so much.